Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video of the Transfer Portal CFB presented by NoContextCFB. Liam Blumman here. Josh is over there. We're going to be doing a fun topic today. We're talking about 10 future stars in college football. Unknown people that are going to be very known very soon in these next few years or months even. I'm excited for this, Josh.
Liam, this is a fun topic to talk about, especially during this time of the year. Not that we don't have things to talk about in college football, but at this point, it's a little bit, it's well past talk about last season, and like a little bit too early to talk about the upcoming season. So like projecting into the future, think about where things could be. This is a fun one, man. I like this.
It definitely is. I'm going to give you the floor first to share your first name that you're seeing as a future star in our great sport.
All right. So first name, this is a guy who when I first heard about him, I couldn't believe it. Because this guy's just a freak. This is Nicholas Harbor, South Carolina athlete. I say athlete because in high school he played edge, tight end, but they're like, you are 6'5", 225-ish, 230. He runs like the wind. In 2022, he ran the 7th fastest 100-meter time for people under 18 in the world. And they're like, hey, you could be a good wide receiver. And so he went to South Carolina, which is huge that a guy like him went to South Carolina. And he is going to try and compete in the Olympics, Summer Olympics next summer in Paris. So that is crazy that South Carolina might have a gold medal winning Olympian or even just an Olympian on their football team. Like, I can't think of a
class athlete.
Yeah, I can't think of an athlete since Jadeveon Clowney like that who's been in South Carolina and like ever besides Jadeveon Clowney. Liam, anybody come to mind?
I mean, what just comes to mind immediately with South Carolina is obviously the tough physical cornerbacks they have. It's not really, because I've heard about Harbor too, and I probably should have done for this too, but I'm glad you took up. Makes it easier. That guy is world class. His speed's outstanding, and yeah, like he's gonna get looks at receiver, but I know there's talk of maybe lining him up at tight end too. So with that size and that speed at tight end, surefire NFL talent, you gotta think.
Yeah, and if they want to mess around, they'd be like, hey, you could get like 5 pass rushing snaps on the other side just to be like a top 5 pick just because you're just that freaky. Yeah, I think this guy is he's got some talent. He like raced again recently this year and like he was winning events and stuff. And yeah, this guy, like, he's not just like, oh, it's not just a football guy who does track. This is a football guy and a serious track guy. So Nicholas Harbor it's scary, like thinking what he could do. So long as someone at South Carolina can throw him the ball properly. So
and Bruce Feldman is salivating over writing about this guy for his freaks list. No doubt about that. For my first guy, going quarterback, it ain't lazy. It's just this guy's gonna be a star. What do you want me to say? He's 6'4", 195 pounds, 4-star recruit out of Downey High School, which is like right around the LA area. Aiden Childs, quarterback, Oregon State. I think that there's a path for this kid to potentially get reps this season as a true freshman. It's just what happens when you show up as an early enrollee and you absolutely crush it in Oregon State spring practices and game, and that strikes fear into DJU. It just does. It's tough. DJ's going to go out there and perform at his best level, but the fans, that Oregon State fan base is going to be calling for Childs like real quick. And the first mistake DJ makes, they're going to want Childs in there. This is a guy that plays a very fun brand of football. And I reached out to Aiden. I asked them, like, yo, describe your game. For all these people who don't know about you, describe your game to them. And he said, I'm a player that plays with a lot of heart and I won't give up on the team. We could be down 7 or 45, and I'm going out there. He won't be down 45, but I'm going to go out there and play my hardest, my best level, and we're going to have some fun. I'm a guy that you could trust in crunch time. I'm a player that's going to bring entertainment to each and every single drive that I play. That perfectly encapsulates what Aiden's game is. Something that I've noticed with them. One of the first things I said was, "This is a guy that's going to play the role of hero." And that translates to being a star and a cult hero in the college football scene, right? This is a guy that's going to go out there. He's going to evade sacks in the backfield. You're going to be like, oh, Manziel stuff, whatever. He's going to have fun evading sacks. It's going to be fun. And he's going to go out there and throw darts and missiles and just jaw-dropping plays over and over again where, at Oregon State, the thought might be the talent gap or whatever, whoever they're playing against. Maybe they're playing against USC, and it's not David or Goliath and stuff. Like you get the point I'm making. Like this is a guy that could go out there and be a one-man band. He's just a really good player. Like I said, incredible zip and fire on his throws, precise ball placement from the pocket or on the run, super elusive. He's dangerous, a miracle maker. That might be what we go with. I also reached out to him and just asked what his favorite route to throw is. Deep posts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said I love throwing deep posts. There's just so many ways to throw it. It's the best feeling when you complete a deep post for a big gain or a touchdown. And we're gonna see that a lot from Aiden, maybe this year, but certainly over the years. And Aiden Childs is gonna be a first-round pick. I have no doubt about that in my mind. He is not on many people's radars now, but those who are talking about him know that Aiden Childs is a star in the making. So he had to be my first guy.
That's a dude who, if you look at Oregon State the past few years under Jonathan Smith, like they've been a pretty good team, but they just haven't had a good quarterback. And Childs is beyond, his ceiling is beyond good. It's great. It's like you said, miracle maker. If you put that at Oregon State, they're not gonna be David. They're gonna be the David. They're not gonna be Goliath. they could very easily do that because they're always they're just solid all around. But it's always man, the quarterback can't hit a 10-yard out. It's but Childs, man, that dude goes in there and can live up to even just 80% of his potential. Oregon State's gonna be going crazy over the next few seasons.
Yeah, and this is such an innate situation where he 4-star or whatever, but we look at this quarterback class and all the names that are there. You have Arch, Nico, Dante, etc. How many could we name? Childs was down the list. Might have been a 4-star, but he was down the list. It's a very unique situation where this guy shows up to his college where they bring in I wouldn't say a prize, but I can't figure out the word. A very solid quarterback in DJ Ura, who's the thought is going to be he's going to come in here, he's going to help us right off the bat. This easy decision, going to play solid or whatever. It's just this innate situation where this true freshman, early enrollee quarterback that is not on the radar of many people blows up in the spring. That doesn't happen, and it's happening now. Why'd you go on with your second guy though, Josh?
All right, second guy. I'm reaching down under, reaching for an Australian.
Ooh.
But this guy isn't just he's some Australian football player, or maybe he was. There's a whole podcast for him, and I listened to a bit of it, but I just got what I needed just for this video. But I'm can't wait to go back and watch the video. Jaden O'Rourke, Nevada tight end. He is 6'8", 225 or 245 pounds. So this guy's a good athlete, but the thing is, he has played American football before. He played football for the Gold Coast Stingray Gridiron Club from 2019 to 2022. So he knows how to play the sport. Came up here, had a little bit of trouble in the spring. He had some COVID and I think a little bit of a knee issue. I got some surgery just to clean it up, but he should be good to go in the fall. I don't know if he's going to impact right away. But just the great athlete that he is, and again, he knows the game of football. He could be in a year, 2 years, because Nevada's in a deep rebuilding situation right now. This is a guy who's oh, hey, this junior tight end or this senior tight end out there in Nevada, he's a sneaky draft pick. And then as people watch him more, because again, 6'8", 245 pounds, it's oh, this guy could be a serious tight end threat. Again, kind of like I said with Nicholas Harbor, if he can find someone to throw him the ball, which shouldn't be that hard because he's so big. But again, he's so good and he has a knowledge of the game. And also, it's just fun to talk about guys from Australia.
Yeah, I mean, I know nothing about him, but that's kind of the point of this, right? Is to teach people about some lesser known cultural players that could become something in the very near future or, just next year or whatever. But I know one thing, Nevada has an infatuation for very tall football players. You remember Nate Cox from last year, 6'8". Illingworth was what, 6'7" too? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like they have so much height. I'm trying to remember Jax Leatherwood, that's
yeah,
his
that
name.
guy.
Yeah, he's also 6'8". He's an incoming freshman that's going to be playing quarterback in Nevada soon. So think about that. Potentially 6'8" quarterback throwing the 6'8" tight end.
There's
Oh
sometimes
man.
problems like they're like, oh man, you have a short quarterback behind the line. Now you're gonna have to worry about the quarterback being too tall and the tight end being too tall. And the defense is like, oh, I could just see the quarterback's eyes. He's going to the tall tight end. But then again, what's the defense gonna do? And he just like throws a Leatherwood, he's just gonna throw a pass, just a straight pass, but it's gonna be over everyone's head because he's so tall, right to O'Rourke, just in the end zone. I can picture right now.
Man, I'm gonna stay in the Mountain West for my next name. Going running back at Boise State, John Braze Dubar. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's a three-star recruit from Anna High School in Anna, Texas, which is just north of Dallas and Plano. I could tell you right off the bat, he ain't an early enrollee. He looks the part of an NFL running back. And I say that with extreme confidence as someone who said the same things about Ashton Jonty at Boise State last year before he ever took a snap at Boise State. Dubar and Jonty are going to be absolutely nasty these next few years. Dubar's going to work his way onto the field early. I think that Boise State could utilize three really quality backs with Dubar, Jonty, and George Alani. Stupendous vision, nasty cutting abilities, major explosiveness, creative runner. I love the way that he's just able to create and running backs that create and just go off the map essentially. It's just very fun for me to watch. They create their own path, their own unique just routes to take and elude defenders, and it's so fun to watch. And he does that. And then the next key point here with Jambres Dubar is the running system at Boise State it's a bit new as Boise State OC Bush Hamden enters his first year there. He played quarterback at Boise State years ago. He's been coaching. He worked with Kyle Shanahan with the Atlanta Falcons. That's the running scheme that you're going to see at Boise State in the next few months in 2023 and beyond, as long as Hamden's there. So you're going to see a rotation of backs. The good ones are going to get quality. There's no politics here on who needs to get touches or not. If you're hot, and you're getting the ball. If you're cold, you might take a seat and you'll be back up ready to go. But the guy who's got the hot hand's going to ride out. Dubar could get the hot hand early. Him and Jontier can be disgusting. Like I cannot wait for this. And Boise State is going to have a Kyle Shanahan rushing offense. It's going to be electric, absolutely electric. Jambres Dubar is next up, dude.
Yeah, and that Shanahan system, like you've seen in the NFL, like they take air quotes nobodies and they turn them into 1,000 yard rushers. But just like no, it's just so if you're like a decent enough running back, you're gonna rush for 1,000 yards. So imagine with these Boise State guys, and they're already really good. What they're gonna do with the system, it's gonna be insane. You're gonna have 2,500 yard rushers, or three, or who knows how many. They're gonna find another person that we haven't
Yeah.
talked about. It's
It,
insane,
it,
and it's gonna be so much fun up there.
yeah, it's wild to think because like George Halani has established himself as a very quality college football running back. Like, he's very good at what he does, impressive contact balance and everything. But you have Ashton Jonty go in there last year as a true freshman, and he's already like he's just better than George. That's just a matter of the fact. And who knows, maybe Dubar goes in there and proves that he is also better than him as a true freshman. And it's just crazy to think because George Alani's such a good college football running back, but Dubar and Jonty look the part of NFL running backs. Like these are two guys that are going to belong on NFL rosters as soon as they possibly can. And like Jonty's going to be a starting running back in the NFL. I'm sure that Dubar can as well, but the Verk style, we still actually have to watch him play college football, shockingly. But yeah, he's a future star. Who's
Sorry
your
about
next
that.
name?
Yeah, sorry
You're
about
good.
that, folks. My things being weird over here. So we're gonna stay in the Mountain West. Heavy,
Oh
heavy
my
Mountain
god.
West theme going on. So I got a quarterback. Finally gonna touch on the quarterback position on my side. So Javance, okay, Javance Tupuata Johnson. Because the thing is, I tried to like look up how to say his name, right? And I found him. It's like, oh, here's like him introducing his name, and he only said Javance Johnson. I'm like, oh, great. So I can't hear it from him how to pronounce it. So I like got it from someone else, and I hope that person knew what they're talking about. Anyways, he's an incoming quarterback at San Diego State. He will not probably won't play this season because Jalen Mayden's there, just doing great things. But Johnson is. I don't want to like say that he's gonna be like the best quarterback that they've had this century because they've had pretty good ones like Ryan Lindley, who is the current OC. But I think that's why Ryan Lindley will help Johnson because Johnson is such a great athlete. Maiden is a good athlete, convert quarterback, safety, back to quarterback. But Johnson just projects better. He's 6'4", 210 right now, and I think he can bulk up even better or even more. He runs really well. He's got a really good arm, a little bit wild, but it's a really good arm. And the thing is, like, the buzz coming is like, hey, this guy's only like a 3 or 4 star recruit, or three, like maybe 4 star recruit by some people, but it's just because he's kind of like, I think he's from like Hawaii or like either, or like some kind of a smaller high school where like he wasn't getting that much buzz. But this guy, just when he came in right away, a bunch of people at San Diego State were saying, at least athletically, this is one of the best quarterbacks that San Diego State's going to have in a while. And just think about San Diego State the past few years. They've had great, great running backs, but they've just been held back by their quarterback play. And like they've had decent wide receivers and decent tight ends too. It's just the quarterbacks have been awful. And that just has held them back. They haven't won a Mountain West title in like 6-7 years. Like they've gotten there, but the quarterback play has held them back. If Johnson comes in, and even if he's just like he's a really good scrambler and he has like a good enough arm to like complete some passes, that's more than enough so long as the rest of San Diego State's roster doesn't collapse in the next few years. He can make them very, very, very dangerous. And especially again, like I said, he's 6'4", 210, but he can bulk up even more. I think that's like us. That's scary to think that San Diego State could actually have like a good quarterback along with
Yeah.
everything else that they've had, like the crazy defense, the crazy running backs. This could take them over the top finally.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to say about him. I've never heard about them. I'm looking forward to watching Maiden, but now I'm looking forward to watching Maiden pass the torch to this kid. And what, in the next, I don't know, however many months it'll be. I don't know months. I do know though that, as you said, San Diego's got a bunch of good running backs. So shout out Lucky Sutton. He was a true freshman there last year, didn't play. I think he's going to be a good player. He's not on my list for this or anything, but just a little bonus guy, Lucky Sutton. Look out for him in San Diego State's backfield. My next guy, also quarterback, might as well as get my last quarterback out of the way. I don't know if you have another, but 6'2", 185. He's 3-star recruit from Westfield High School in Chantilly, Virginia, wherever that is. It's 40 minutes away from Washington, D.C., though. He's thrown 19 career passes in 4 games, all in 2022. He completed 14 of those for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm talking about Noah Kim, quarterback, Michigan State. He is a pivotal reason as to why Peyton Thorne transferred out. And a lot of people were like, oh, Peyton Thorne transferred out. Michigan State lost their QB1. This is terrible. What a disaster. What a dumpster fire. Yeah, Michigan State is a disaster and is a dumpster fire, but it's not because of that. It's not because of that. Kim was going to take the QB1 job, whether it be before game 1 or sometime early in the season. He was a threat to Thorne. That was all it was. And you'll end up seeing why. And we're going to end up on social media and everything, just seeing endless talking of Noah Kim as him. It's going to get nauseating real quick, but he's going to ball out. He's going to deserve all the Noah Kim is him memes, I guess. He has immaculate touch thrown to the sideline. He really throws it into the bucket. He's cool and confident, has a lot of belief in himself and his teammates, and he just loves throwing downfield to the sideline. I think he's got solid mobility and he can make throws on the run. Got really good zip on his throws. And I mean, yeah, like we saw him in spring game throw an absolute dime to Antonio Gates Jr. And Noah Kim's a good football player. I can't wait for him to break out this season for people to finally see, like, I now see why Payton Thorne transferred, because Noah Kim was a thorn in Payton's side.
I was literally good. I was been waiting this entire time. Like I've been listening to you, of course. I'm like, oh, I'm locked and loaded. I had that ready to go. Man.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, that's what's like. I was trying to think, who's this guy? Who are you talking about? Like little snaps. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, because the little bit I've seen of Kim, like you said, limited game action, and then like spring game. But like, what can you really tell for the spring game? But man, the dude looks good. Dude looks real good. Like, no offense to Peyton Thorne, Kim looks really, really good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Again, like thinking back to the past, I don't know who's the best quarterback. He would be the best quarterback at Michigan State since.
I mean, you talk about Connor Cook, Brian Lewerke, there's your Kirk Cousins, your Rocky
Yeah.
Lombardis.
Did you really? I don't. Okay, no offense to Rocky Lombardi. You just threw him in there, man. No way, no way, bro.
What? I
Yeah,
put
no, that.
Brian Lewerke in there
Yeah.
too.
No, the thing is, like Kim, though, like he's not that those guys aren't good athletes in their own right, but he's a really good athlete too. So, like,
Yeah.
that's gonna
I
be.
mean, yeah. I know multiple Michigan State fans that were pounding their fist on the table last season trying to get Kim in there to play ball more. He has never got it. And yeah, again, only 19 career passes and only appeared in 4 games last year, but his presence was felt. Like he's going to be a really good player, and you're going to see why. I know they lose some weapons and everything, and again, it's a dumpster fire at Michigan State, but at least they have a light. Like this kid, the kid's gonna have a spotlight at him at some point.
I'm so excited to watch Kim play. I think, like you said, like he's gonna be. Kim is him. I mean, I'm gonna get sick of it real fast, but
Yeah,
it's gonna
right.
be fun to
Yeah,
watch the highlights though. So that'll make it worthwhile.
for sure. Who you got next?
All right. I'm gonna go off the field a little bit, not a player, and talk about the head coach. I'm gonna talk about Willie Simmons, Florida A&M's head coach. Wherever the dude has gone, he has just produced great offenses. He's been at Middle Tennessee, Alcorn State, Prairie View A&M, and then now Florida A&M since 2018. He was a quarterback at Clemson, and then he was like a grad assistant there for like a year. But yeah, just wherever he's gone, offenses have just done great, and it's not like, oh, he learned. It's not that, oh, it was like because of other people. It's kind of like, oh, it's kind of been him. Like, and then now like he's the head coach, like, oh, it's really him. So the thing is, I think because FCS level, not as much shine unfortunately as the FBS level, but I think also I think he's gonna get a lot more shine now that people are looking more towards like, okay, we can't necessarily take like an assistant coach from another FBS team, but maybe we can go down, and because the FBS has a lot more money than the FCS, they can say, hey, Simmons, you're going to come up here. You're not going to be a head coach, but you can be the offensive coordinator, and we have a lot more money for you. And I like, not that it's all about the money, but just like sometimes maybe going up there and proving like, hey, I did my stuff at Middle Tennessee, but now I can go up to like a Power 5 program and show that my offense is great, and then eventually like get an FBS job as a head coach. I think Simmons is a guy who pretty soon people are going to be talking about like, hey, there's this guy down there. He's cooking up some stuff. He's been cooking up some stuff. 54-23 overall head coaching record. Just one playoff appearance in the FCS, lost it unfortunately. But yeah, just wherever he's gone, man, offense follows, and offense, even if like you're just like a lower level FBS team, like sometimes all you need is a good offense to sell tickets, even if your team stinks. Maybe like, hey man, you want to come up here, take a few lumps, maybe help us put this up and like help us sell tickets and just like show that you can do it at this level. I think Simmons down there and Florida A&M, he's not going to be there for long. I don't think.
Yeah, I think that there's a few takeaways here. The first being, I don't know if people understand how impressive it is to be at an HBCU and make the SCS playoffs. It takes a pretty substantial happening and occurrence for it to happen, because you go into the Celebration Bowl, that's your number one goal. And if you don't get to the Celebration Bowl, chances are probably weren't good enough. Florian didn't get there, but they were good enough to make the FCS playoff. That's so impressive, and I think that needs to hold a lot more weight than it might. And then you just look at this. Deion Sanders is gone. He ain't there in the SWAC anymore. So what? People are going to talk about somebody else. They're going to talk about a different head coach at the HBCU level. So why not Willie Simmons? He's going to be going out there doing his thing, leading his team to victory week after week. They've had really good players. I mean, you think of Isaiah Land maybe most notably as a player that he's had on his roster. And yeah, I mean, it's a very tough situation to be coaching in at a HBCU, especially when, I mean, the equipment and stuff ain't always up to par, and that whole mess that he's had to deal with. I mean, yeah, I think if he got a Power 5 offer at like offense coordinator, like, yeah, he'd take it. I completely agree with that. And I think that I'm very happy that you brought up a non-player. I wish I thought of that. I think you brought up one of the best people off the field possible. Well, he's on the field, but that's not in shoulder pads and everything.
Yeah.
I think in the helmet, like, I think you brought up an excellent option.
Yeah, and if you want to see his offense in action against an FBS team, now granted this FBS defense isn't that good, go look at Florida A&M's game against North Carolina this last season. They were giving North Carolina a scare for a little bit until Drake May finally like, okay, let's go, guys. But like, what are you gonna do? That's Drake May. But Florida A&M was in it for a while. It's a fun offense.
Yeah, they were kind of more than in it. Jeremy Musa was a monster in that game. That's Florida A&M's quarterback, who again though, like, it's so impressive that game when you consider what Florida A&M was up against with like the lack of equipment and just how they're treated by. It's just bad. Like, for those that know about the situation, they have offensive linemen that aren't playing with knee braces, and it's a mess. So what Simmons is able to do there at a high level like this is so impressive, and he's got a bright future. Again, really good call, Josh. I think that's an excellent one. I hope that mine is also good, this next one, but it's a football player, so kind of not as cool. 5'8", 180. He's a 4-star recruit from Edna Carr in New Orleans. Went to Alabama, got hurt, didn't play, transferred to LSU, who he was originally committed to at high school. Then things switch up. Aaron Anderson, lethal wide receiver. First thing to say, I hate player comparisons, but I could just tell you straight up, I see the future, and I know it's going to happen when Aaron Anderson's getting to the NFL draft process. People are going to say, yo, Tyreek Hill this, Tyreek Hill that. That's just what's going to happen. I ain't saying, I'm not comparing them. I'm just very aware. Big difference. So Aaron Anderson and Tyreek Hill, the comps are going to be there because not just from a play style, but the similar build and stature that they have. Like 5'8", 180 doesn't really tell the whole story. If you look at Anderson's build, and like Tyreek, just saying. He's a menace after the catch, though, with insane wiggle, dynamic cutting ability, and a lot of toughness. We saw in one of the spring practices last year at Alabama before he got hurt. He was carving that defense up, and it was disgusting. He's going to demand touches because of how dangerous he is with the rock in his hands. Great vision, plenty of juice, burning speed, impressive contact balance. He's going to be a fun special teams player if called upon, because guess what? 20 kick and punt return touchdowns in high school. It's absolutely electric. He's a menace. Can't wait to watch him play some football for LSU this season. He's going to break out on the national stage. Yeah, he's a monster. He's a stud. 5'8", bum monster. Mike was asking.
Yeah, people are always looking like, oh, okay, where's the next Mahomes? Where's the next Travis Kelce? Where's the next Tyreek Hill? Crazy how I've just mentioned basically the Chiefs. But yeah, they're always looking, but you're always looking because like these guys are game breakers. They can just take a bad team, make them good. They can make a good team, make them great, and take a great team, make them invincible. And you get a guy like this, and it's like, okay. And not even like on the NFL, just college. Like you said, like he was carving up an Alabama defense. I know Alabama defense hasn't been like what it was, but it's still a really good defense, even if it's a spring practice. Now what he's gonna do at LSU, oh man, that's gonna be again like LSU, just like always like, oh, they have really good receivers like almost every year. This guy, this is a guy people like, please. Like, if anyone on this list, like, no offense to any other people that we're naming, like, this is a guy you better pay attention. This guy's gonna be making headlines come November easily.
Yeah. And like I don't care that he went to Alabama or anything, but I do think it was surprising that a kid from New Orleans that went to Edna Carr had an LSU commitment and then backed off it. Like LSU was always the fit here, you gotta think. It's a hometown kid is gonna play in front of all his family and everything and friends, and he's gonna dominate. It's like you said, game breaker. How about showstopper? That's what he's going to be. He's gonna, man. When we finally get to see Aaron Anderson touch the ball in a regular season college football game, you know stuff is about to go down, man. You know, like you said, the whole game breaker thing. Say LSU's offense is stagnant in like the first quarter or something. What are you going to do to figure out something after your scripted plays? You got to figure out something, right? You get the ball in Aaron Anderson's hands and you let him make a play, and that sparks your team, ignites the fire and the passion and the energy, and you're out there and you're out of the rut, and things get going.
I love wide receivers. I'm so excited to watch him play. You got one more person left?
Yeah, I got one player
I
left.
think you should go first, and then I'll do my
Okay.
breakout star last.
Okay, so I went all offense. I went with a wide receiver that was on my radar last year, Chris Bell at Louisville. He's 6'2", 220 pounds, an absolute beast. 3-star recruit from Greenville Christian School. He's from Yazoo City, Mississippi, which is like an hour north of Jackson. I know Mississippi State really, really wanted Chris Bell and they were recruiting him hard. Ends up going to Louisville. He got to play a little as a true freshman, 7 grabs for 105 yards. He can have a whole lot more this year and beyond, dude. He posts that stellar frame and he pairs it with excellent speed. We're talking about a track star. He recorded a 22.5 in the 200-meter dash. Intriguing blend of that size and the speed, and he's nasty after the catch, which is frightening when we talk about he's 6'2", 220. So not only is he going to overpower defenders with his size and his strength, his power, he's going to hit you with a quick juke and send you into the dirt, into the shower. Like, GG's, man. Move on. Next up, marvelous ball skills, extremely good high pointer. I honestly believe that Chris Bell is one of the best kept secrets in all of college football. He's going to be a monster. And he's going to make it to the NFL soon enough. You better start investing in Chris Bell. This kid is going to be an absolute star. I am very confident.
Yeah, now they bring in Jeff Brom, and just think of what Jeff Brom has done at all his stops as head coach, just with offenses and like wide receivers, especially, like, just been crazy. So you get a guy, like, no offense to the other wide receivers he's had, but like, this is probably one of the most physically gifted wide receivers Brom has been able to coach. So
yeah, physically gifted is a great way to put it.
Exactly. So physically gifted, put all that together with the coaching and just put him in a great situation to succeed. Oh my goodness.
Sky's the limit.
Like the ACC defenses, like there are some good ones, but honestly, like, he's gonna be able to feast, man. There's gonna be some games where it's like you gotta go turn on the TV and watch a Louisville game. You mean a basketball game? No, a Louisville football game. You're gonna want to watch a Louisville football game.
Louisville, North Carolina. Yeah. All right. You better play Chris Bell in your FanDuel lineups.
I'm just again, I love wide receivers, and just like thinking about what that guy's gonna do is gonna be so much fun. Like,
salivating.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, who you got?
All right. Gotta go on a little trip here. It's 2035. We'll say 2035, you know. It's
okay.
You're turn on the TV, it's about, I'm gonna go Pacific time because that's what I'm at. It's about 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and it's Saturday. It's November. It's Alabama is kicking off against lowly Texas because it's on the SEC network, so it's not the game that they care about. Got the people up there in the booth introducing, welcome everybody to Tuscaloosa, as 10-0 Alabama takes on 2-8. Did I do my math right? Yeah, 2-8 Texas. This game is just a warm-up game for Alabama. Go head down to the sideline to our sideline reporter, Stetson Bennett the fourth, baby,
Oh,
will be a sideline reporter. And then during the game, they're gonna cut to some ads like, "Hey, this game is brought to you by Stetson Bennett Kia." Stetson Bennett Kia, just as reliable as a walk-on quarterback at Georgia who won 2 national championships and was a backup in the NFL for however many years. Stetson Bennett the fourth will be a star in 2035 as an SEC Network sideline reporter. Can't think of anything better for the guy.
I should have known that's where he's going. So he's going to be like 37 years old.
Something like that, yeah. Because he'll be a backup in the league, just like kicking around the NFL. And it's like, all right, what's he going to do when he retires? He's going to get that Kia.
Yeah, your timeline checks out.
Yeah, going to get that Kia and then going to be like, SEC Network, man. Come on down, dude. It's gonna be a perfect fit for him.
I hate to say that you're spot on, but like it's kind of perfect. I hate it so much, but like, yeah, it's perfect.
Like I kind of hate it too, because I was like legitimately thinking like, oh man, there's like some really intriguing recruits out of like Africa and Europe who are like really popping off and some people are talking about. And I'm like, wait a second. Or I could talk about a guy who's going to be a football lifer and will give you the best Kias in Georgia that you will ever see in your entire life.
I did not know where you were going with the whole Stetson sideline reporter thing until you said Stet. Then I was like, oh, okay, I couldn't figure it out at first when you said like not like off the like when you said it wasn't a player coach. I was like, he's doing the mascot. That's kind of weird, but no, it's not a mascot. I mean, I guess it's SEC Network mascot in the form of Stetson, just tearing up on the sideline. But I don't know. I just never saw you going there. I was trying to think of like, okay, so who's in the booth announcing? I like what AJ McCarron? Like, is that where you're going? I don't
That
know.
would be a wild if McCarron's up there and then Stetson down there and then whatever other random quarterback, former SEC player they want to throw. Aaron Murray, they got it from
Well,
from
I mean,
CBS.
what Tim Tebow in the booth? Why
Oh,
not?
good
Little
grief.
promotion.
That would be. But what is that's Nissan though. Oh, that'd be Nissan and Kia just going head to head with Tebow and Stetson.
You don't know what the TV deals will be like in 2035. You don't know if Nissan's Heisman House exists. It could have got burned down.
There's not going to be TV,
got
man.
burned down by Stetson.
Stetson just comes in there. Hey, man, I know you have your championships, but I was a walk-on at Georgia.
I can't believe you went there. Well, to recap it, Chris Bell, Aaron Anderson, Noah Kim, Jambres Duvar, Aiden Childs, and you went with.
All right, I went wide receiver Nicholas Harbor, South Carolina, Jaden O'Rourke, the Australian tight end at Nevada, Javance Tupuwata Johnson, San Diego State quarterback, Willie Simmons, Florida A&M head coach, and future SEC Network sideline reporting star Stetson Bennett the fourth. Also, Stetson Bennett Kia.
Of course. See, I also thought you at first, like you might have been going, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be playing quarterback. I thought, okay, what quarterback's kid is gonna be playing quarterback? I mean, you could have gone Stetson for that too. Stetson could be. I don't know.
I legitimately almost went. And coming onto the field is Stetson Smith the second. I'm like, nah, that's a little bit too far. Stetson Bennett the fourth. This is more realistic.
Yeah, we might have to gap on out here now before we take over the 2035 college football landscape with a whole bunch of hoopla as North Dakota State, the number 3 team in the country, hosts number 5 UCLA in the Big Ten battle.
And then that'll be a de facto playoff game as a oh man, I don't know. I need another thing. Oh, as a Mexico school. We have Mexico now. We'll be playing Canadian-based school in the Pac-12.
Very interesting. Well, I, for one, cannot wait to see Jerry Neuheisel's kid, Rick Neuheisel's grandkid, kill it as a quarterback for UCLA. So how about that?
I can see it.
Dog.
I can see it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get out here before we ramble on way too far. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed these future stars of college football. And please, like, for real, comment below what future stars you have, whether realistic or in your dream fantasy world, like Stetson on the sidelines. Appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.